everyone. We are really thrilled today with a wonderful surprise. To do our podcast today, help us, is John Taylor, who is a very, very close friend and a wonderful speaker and an author of how many books, John?
30.
Only 30 books.
Yeah.
So you're 30 above me, and you're wonderful, and he speaks often at Wheels, and he works with 2926 and does all kinds of research. And today I've invited John and appreciate so much that he's going to talk to us about 2926 and its restoration, and the event is coming up in September. So, John, it's your time.
Well, thank you very much, Leba.
Thank
I
you.
very much appreciate the opportunity to talk about our favorite steam locomotive.
Exactly.
The status of it right now is it's being reassembled after a fairly long period of being down. We had to do some fairly major repairs, and we're almost ready. We have a hydrostatic test scheduled for early September, which is a requirement that the Federal Railway Administration imposes. So we'll do the hydrostatic test, and we assume that everything's going to go fine. We don't know of any big problems.
Good.
There'll be some leaks. There always are. But steam locomotives leak. I mean, it's a great big water can that you heat from room temperature to high temperature, 300 degrees, and in fact in some cases 720 degrees, and it's going to leak because it expands anyway. So we're going to get ready for an event here at the rail yards the last weekend in September, where we're going to steam down to the rail yards and show off the locomotive for photographs and everything else. The locomotive is really in pretty good condition. Of course, she was built in 1944, so she's not a young lady,
Right.
But we've gotten her really running nicely. And some recent repairs. We had to do some work on one of the feedwater systems, and we had to overhaul an air compressor, and we've replaced some mud ring blocks and done some work in the firebox. So we've done some significant things while she's been down, but she's doing just fine. It's interesting. We talk about some locomotives are named. There's the Madam Queen and the Flying Scotsman. We don't have a name for her. She's just the 2926, but it's a she, and we whenever I go down in the morning, I go down and pat one of the drive wheels and say, "Good morning, lady."
Oh,
She's a wonderful lady.
How sweet.
She's doing just fine, and so we're looking forward to having everybody come down and see her steamed up. Here in the rail yards near the Wheels Museum, so they probably can get a twofer.
That's right.
You can not only go look at the 2926 in a steamed up condition, but come visit this wonderful museum.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
The locomotive, we recently got some permission to drive plus or minus 20 miles from our restoration site, which is going to give us the ability to do a little bit more work on the main line. The constraint was a process or some equipment called positive train control, and we've gotten a waiver on that for this close-in work, although we will eventually have positive train control installed on the locomotive. And so we're going to be running farther. Of course, the issue is always where can we turn around? She's long. And the turntables no longer suit a locomotive that's 120 feet long with its tender, and so it's something that we're working on. As some of you know, we're working on the turntable here, which is long enough to handle us. So being able to turn around will be a solvable problem eventually, but we can get out and go a little faster, test her at a little higher speed. Steam locomotives were designed to go forwards. Diesels go forward and backward. It's not a big deal, but steam locomotives can go backwards, but they really prefer to go forwards. And so we can't do all of the things that we'd like to do with her until we can find places, particularly a northern place where we could turn around. We're looking into that. And so we're doing well. We're very happy
Good,
with the way
happy.
things are going, and things are going along. She's beautiful. We encourage everybody to come down on Wednesdays or Saturdays and bring your children of all ages. We love to give tours. We love to have the public come and see what a beautiful example of New Mexico history we have there.
Tell the listeners, when you're inviting people to come Wednesday and Saturday, please tell them what the address is so they'll know when to come to see
It's
them.
at our world headquarters.
Ooh, where?
The world headquarters at 8th and Haynes. If you would like to find directions to get there, Google New Mexico Steam Locomotive and it'll give you all the information. You can get to our website and you can see wonderful photographs not only of the restoration, but also of when she was running the 40s and
40s.
early 50s.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she ran for 11 years on the Santa Fe, covered over 1 million miles, and pulled freight, pulled passengers, and pulled troop trains
Yes.
during the disembarkation from the war in Europe and the re-embarkation from the war in the Pacific.
She does
So-
seem like a real person.
She
When you
is.
say
Oh,
that.
she
Yeah,
is.
and knowing you and all the books you've written and children's books and everything, I'm surprised you haven't insisted on a name for her.
Well,
We
no.
have a contest.
No, she's just the 29, 26
26 lady.
That's
That's so cute.
So-
We had something great happen the other day, and I've sent it to your group. We had a visitor from Trains Magazine who wants to write an article about this event that's coming up.
Yes. Yes.
So I hope that you all will contact him. I sent a few bits of information about wheels, but hope you'll contact him.
Wonderful,
So I've sent
wonderful,
that to
absolutely.
John and Phil about that, and I should have sent it to you. But I think our fame is spreading. We're very happy that
Yes.
we're doing what's right on the rail yard, which is the
Indeed.
highest use to bring the locomotives, to bring private cars, to do excursion, to save this most historic cultural place for the highest
It
use.
is. You know, railroads were a critical part of opening New Mexico to the nation.
That's it.
Before that, things came to New Mexico by wagon train, and you couldn't bring heavy industrial equipment. It took you a long time. But when the railroad came in 1880, it got to Albuquerque in April of 1880 and built through New Mexico and so forth until the second transcontinental railroad was linked up at Deming in 1881. You know, railroads opened the country, opened the state, the territory then to the country for selling our products. Tourism blossomed after the railroad came.
That's right.
And so the railroads were so critically important to New Mexico, and certainly to the Albuquerque area in particular, that having an icon like the 2926 and having the Wheels Museum where you have this history of the transportation industry in New Mexico
Thank you.
is just, it's a real boon to the state and to the city.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for everything you do. We're right in the throes of getting the Babbitt and Welding Shop to make a model railroad center. We're working with you all and others on the machine shop. So we hope to do the very best. Our studies show 1 million people a year coming if we can
Yep.
do what we want to on this site for tourism, for history, for culture, for
You know what they
our
say?
children.
Make haste slowly. We're moving along, but
We are
we're
making
moving
progress.
deliberately.
That is true.
That's
That
right.
is very true. I cannot
Yes.
thank you enough for being
Well,
here and being our friend. And
I'm honored to be a part of this.
oh, and mutual to know
Wonderful.
you and to be with you. We're
Great.
wonderful.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
very much
yeah.
for inviting
Oh,
me to
I'm
do
so
this.
happy you came.
Mhm.
Anytime we want to have you here, any news that you have about 2926, come to tell
We'll
us
do
about
it.
it.
We'll do it.
Put it on.
Thank you, Leba.
Thanks you.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Of course.